to the Desi Ballers podcast. What's up, Gopal?
Celtics have woken up, bro. That's what's up. Yeah,
Man,
man.
in an interesting game, to say the least. I think it would have been very easy for the Celtics at the end of the second half to fold because they were down six, and obviously Heat looked like they were controlling the game. But I don't know what happened in that half, in the half time, and Celtics came out and like the Celtics looked like the Celtics which we all expected, looked like the Celtics which we all saw during the season, which was which is such a strange feeling, or this such a strange thing to watch, because when the Celtics have it on, it's really hard to choose any team against them, Gopal. I
Dude,
don't think huh?
sorry, go ahead, go ahead.
And any when the Celtics are engaged and they are fighting, I don't understand. I don't see any team beating them. They have such a deep roster. They have so many weapons. They have a good defense. They are so athletic. They are so young. I mean, like even the first three games of the series, you could clearly tell that Heat were doing a great job, but Celtics were beating themselves.
Yeah.
So, what do you think of the game, Gopal?
No, I'm a Celtics fan, dude.
why, why do you say that?
Bhai, like, see, but they cause so much trauma, irritation. They make you feel things. Okay, for me, if an NBA team makes you feel emotions, okay, which see if they had folded up and gone today, then I'd be like, then I don't think we'll be doing the live show. By the way, guys who are tuning in, right? We did a poll
Right,
after the previous Celtics game,
right.
and among the in the AIC NBA WhatsApp group, you guys should check it out. It's already linked in. On the Iklavya's bio and stuff. You guys should really join that group. It's really amazing stuff that happens there. So we actually did a poll where we
We asked the Extravia audience,
yeah.
do you think we should do a live or match the Celtics effort of not showing up and not do the live day before yesterday?
You know that was a loaded question, okay, Nikhil. I was actually hoping people will say no, you guys should do the show because we love the show so much. But they're like, no, it's a fair call. You know, if the Celtics are not putting in the effort, you guys should not. But yeah, we saw the Celtics effort, come back to the fore. I personally loved it, man. See, this is a series where it's an extraordinary team in terms of talent playing ordinary versus an ordinary team playing extraordinary, right? We're talking about players not even in the draft versus players who are potentially future Hall of Famers, right? So the mismatch in terms of talent in this series is unbelievable. Outside of obviously we're talking about Jimmy and Bam, talking about the role players and stuff, right? So for me to see the Celtics the way they fought back, the way they clicked again, law of averages. This may sound crazy, but I feel like something has happened here. This may just be our own frustration. Like we are desperate to see any signs of life, and we are over interpreting it. But uh, I felt like the Celtics have, for the first time in this series, they looked themselves in that third quarter. Okay, so and what the reason why I'm optimistic again is the way they sort of punched back. This is the first time also we saw the Heat uh, on the back foot, right? If you look
Right.
at the first 3.5 games, I'm including the first half of this, the Heat didn't. They were we never saw how can they retaliate, right? This is the first time when Celtics went on the aggressive, and the Heat did not honestly have the answers,
Hmm.
right? So whether this goes into game 5 or not, that is a separate question. But I actually think uh, I think we have a series again. Okay, I don't look at this as a one-off. And even if the remaining games, I definitely see the next game is going to be like a blowout. Definitely, like Heat not winning through a blowout. If they have to win another game, it's going to be a hard-fought game. That's what I feel. But again, this could just be our cumulative desperation to see the Celtics play well. So yeah.
Right. So, look, people are. I was looking at a lot of the post game reaction on Reddit and on Twitter, and looking at some of the shows which came out as well.
What are they saying? I'm curious. Yeah.
Uh, you know that, like, similar to how uh, I have, if I have to say my second, the team which I would root for after the Warriors, I told you last time also, it would be Celtics.
Hmm.
Uh, and why I bring this up is I think it's too little too late. Even if they win another game, you can't expect the Heat to have four bad games.
See, I'll tell you. See, I get your point. Even I totally agree with that. But my question is, it's not about Heat having a bad game, right? Like you had also said previously, it's about the Celtics having a bad game, right? So
Right?
my basic point is, if Celtics play their best consistently, and they have to, versus Heat playing their best
Mm,
consistently, then I'm still picking the Celtics every time, right? So
absolutely.
so that is my point here. So my question is very simple. If the Celtics can play consistently
Mm,
well,
mm,
okay, in the remaining three games, I
mm,
don't see how the Heat can beat them, right? So that is my, and this is something, it's not new, right? This is exactly
yeah.
what we spoke about. In fact, my prediction was the Celtics are going to win this. That looks very obviously very questionable. I don't deny it, but the fact is that if you look at it historically also, if you
Mm,
look at all the teams
mm,
that have been down 0-3 and
mm,
they've never come back, okay, one, we're talking about 150 series,
right.
right? I would love to do a study. I'm too lazy to do it. I'll be for the first to admit, but I want to understand out of those series how many of the favored teams
Mm,
went down 0-3. I think that's a more important stat to look at,
right.
because if a team which is anyway worse than the other team goes down 0-3, then they
Mm,
get swept, or it's a gentleman's sweep.
mm,
But here we have a team playing extraordinarily bad
right.
and going down 0-3 versus a
Mm,
team like the Miami Heat, which is drastically exceeding expectations in terms of their role players performing,
right.
right? So we are looking at two teams which are completely on the opposite ends of the spectrum. I expect that to balance out, okay, and as that balance happens, we see the Celtics gain the upper hand and start winning, and they have the personnel to do it, right? A guy like Jason Tatum, because he had such weird pendulum swings, dude, he's unstoppable, okay? Like I was tripping on his length. You remember that one layup where he goes? I'm like, he's still unfolding, bro. It's like he has like a stretch, like Fantastic Four with the guy that stretch, you know, who's a super stretch guy. It's like as if his body can like elongate, dude. It's
Luffy, straw hat, straw hat
I,
pirates. Luffy.
yeah. So my point is that is, again, that can't be taught, okay, and the ability to use his length.
Mhm,
I don't recall another player being able to do that
mm,
apart from KD, and KD was doing it more as a jump shooter.
right.
Okay, this is the first time I'm seeing a guy in the paint where you feel like he has nowhere to go, and then he finds another extension.
Right.
Okay, which is genuinely insane. So yeah, Tainter playing incredible, and all these other guys like Marcus Smart, Al Horford, hitting threes. That's another huge talking point, right? If you look at this game,
Mm.
I think they made, I think, eight more threes or nine more threes than the Heat. So
So let's try to draw a path to Celtics coming back if we had to, just fantasize or hypothesize or whatever it is. So game five, what do the Celtics got to do to win it? So it's at home, and Celtics, as we all know, suck at home. So
yeah.
let's try to theorize. So what do you think? Uh, what do you think they got to do to win game five?
So the one thing that I loved about this game, which they have to, like, this is non-negotiable, is their defense. Okay, they were able to get a lot of. I think he didn't have this problem throughout, but I think they had some 16 or 17 turnovers, which is apparently unheard of. If you look at the Miami this postseason. So I think the Celtics defense is the starting point. If they are able to get out in transition, score freely against against a non-set defense, that for me is the starting point. How is Celtics going to show up defensively? That's point number one, and that is something I think which will also help them get into rhythm. Right? If you look at a lot of the shots that the Celtics made, if you look at the first half, or 2.5 quarters, a lot of it was about Celtics able to score inside, and then that was giving them that confidence to knock down the outside shot, right? So I would like to see the Celtics defense discover an identity that has been missing for them for this season. But my point is, a team which has won 57 games in the regular season,
mm,
It's a weird thing. Okay, I get your point that you can't win. It's hard to win four straight.
mm.
But Celtics are the weird things where they have elongated slumps that now needs to be matched by an elongated good stretch, right? So if you look at it in a series perspective,
No,
law
no.
of
So I
yeah,
I got that, but let's talk about first game five. So game five got into they got to bring in the same defensive effort.
yes.
Okay, what else?
Then I'm looking at Jason Tatum and
Having a
Jalen.
massive game, 30 plus
No,
game.
no, no, massive game. More specifically, in the context of him starting strong, and he has to be able to drive in and touch the paint. Okay, he can't start off with those step back threes and with however insane those shots are, right? It's about how they score, right? So I want them to drive in. Specifically, Jason Tatum has to have a strong first half. If he has a shitty second half, that's fine, but he needs to have a strong first half because we know how fragile the Celtics are mentally, right? So I don't think if they're not leading at halftime, specifically if they're not leading by 15 at halftime, uh, in a close game, the Heat have all the advantages, right? So I think a very strong first half defense and Jason Tatum driving in and creating offense. These are the things I want to see.
So let me try to counter that.
Huh.
I think so. Let's talk about game five. See now because it's win every game. I want to see if we can visualize this. So in game five, the Miami Heat will obviously have a bounce back game from three. Jimmy Butler will have a big game. So if you ask me, I think if Celtics do whatever you said, they can take game five. Okay, they actually have that because even if both of them have those games like the Miami role players hit threes and Jimmy Butler goes off, if Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown have big games, there's no way the Miami Heat is matching. So then let's start talking about game six, which is back in Miami. So if say they take the game five, what do you think they need to do to win game six?
Then Jason Tatum has to go off big time, like he did
Like
against
against
Philly.
yeah, he
Philly.
has to have that 50-point game,
Yes, that's
51-point game.
which is not unheard of. That's a weird thing about Jason Tatum and Boston Celtics, right? Like
Right,
all said and done, they are wonderfully unpredictable, usually in a bad way.
right,
Okay, but the fact is you're unpredictable, right?
right.
So, but I agree with you. Obviously, this never happened before, right? So even to make this prediction
Hmm,
is idiotic, frankly. Even when I think about myself, right? But the fact is, this is a very unique team in terms of, like you said, in terms of their talent, in terms of their depth, in terms of what they can do when they're switched on.
hmm,
Uh, so yeah, but again, they play better on the road. So, and the point is, so if they do win at home,
hmm,
I think we're talking of the momentum shift being so huge
hmm,
in favor of Celtics, that again we have not seen the Heat against such pressure, right? Because at the end of the day, all these guys, all these role players,
hmm.
the injuries that they have, at some point, undrafted players, there is a reason why they were undrafted. This may sound harsh, but right, but it's not like it's there's only so much hustle and heart can go. Like at the end of the day, like if it comes down to talent,
Hmm.
the Celtics still got it, right? They just need, if they can just match 90% of Heat's effort, even I'm not even saying 100%, 90% is enough.
Right, absolutely.
So anyway, that's
So and if it's game seven, it's a toss up. So
yeah, yeah, yeah,
game seven can go anywhere. Like that you really can't say anything.
correct.
But it's literally so game five if Celtics win, game six is gonna be a dog fight,
Yes.
and game seven is a toss up. So
Game
hopefully,
seven, I got Heat, bro. Then that by that logic, right? Because then the whole Jimmy Butler thing takes over. It becomes a
no,
Jimmy.
I think literally Jason Tatum has to do what he did to do, and the point is he can do that because in the end of the day, Miami Heat don't have rim presence. Bam Adebayo is shorter than Jason Tatum. Gopal, did you know that?
Is he shorter?
Yeah,
That's insane, dude. I
he's
didn't know he was
six
short.
eight. He's 6'8", and Jason Tatum is 6'9", 6'10".
Okay, okay. I
Uh,
didn't know he was shorter. I thought they were the same height at the
Jalen
very least.
Brown is 6'7". Like, dude, they're a big team, man. I don't understand. Like, that's what I'm telling you, right? If we simulate this series in NBA 2K, you simulate it 100 times, and Celtics will take it like 99 times. It's like
Yeah, yeah.
so. It'll be interesting to see what happens in Game Five. Now let's talk about another some reactions to what happened yesterday, which was in the post conference. LeBron James said, "I'll have to
Hmm.
consider whether I should retire or not." So, what do you think of this, Gopal?
I was surprised because I thought it's very clear he wants to play with his son, right? Isn't that something he had openly stated?
He said that, but then he also said that his son didn't have that goal. So,
Oh, son does not want to play with the father.
yeah.
that is so. That is
So,
that's really weird.
yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see. But do you think he retires? The reason I ask you this question is, if you ask me, even now, he was in the just in the Western Conference. I think he was the third or fourth best player, and across
Hmm.
both conference, he's still top 10 in my opinion. I mean,
Yeah.
what do
No.
you think?
So one is, of course, we need to factor in the timing of this
Hmm.
statement, right? I
Hmm.
think immediately after a loss, and Jokic
See,
can traumatize you. I think. So, but what were you saying? You had some counter to that.
so yeah, I mean, I believe that from an emotional perspective, I think he does not see his Lakers team have enough to have a strong championship run. And if he's not playing for championships, what is he really playing for at this point in his career? You really think about that. LeBron
Hmm.
himself said this, right? I am playing for championships. And if he feels that the Laker team doesn't have enough, uh,
Yeah. So I mean, I get your point, right? So there are two aspects to this, right? Playing for championships is one thing, but also, and this is why we ran that poll, right?
hmm,
Should LeBron return as a role player,
hmm,
right? Because however good he is, and this is crazy, he's still one of the best players, obviously in the Western Conference.
hmm,
But the fact is, he has visibly slowed down, uh,
right.
right? So my point is, and if he is going to play for championships, if that is his goal, and if that remains his goal, there are two things. One is the Lakers itself. Uh, LeBron needs to become basically the third option
Hmm.
in terms of being able to go all out for 4 quarters, right? He becomes a third option. So either the Lakers make that roster change or LeBron has to go to some other franchise.
So
Uh,
I think what LeBron will be looking at is if the Lakers can get a player like Kyrie Irving, or get a player like, say, Chris Middleton, another consistent scorer.
yes.
Because honestly speaking, this Laker team, it had, other than Austin Reeves, which can get you 20 22 points a game, they didn't have a consistent offensive threat. Anthony Davis is not that guy.
Yeah.
Anthony Davis is just a mess offensively. So I think from a defensive standpoint, Lakers are there, but from an offensive standpoint, it's very interesting to see, because I think LeBron will base his decision based on that. What do you think?
I'm just suddenly tripping on the thought of KD going to the Lakers.
No, Suns are not trading him, dude. They gave up too many assets to get him. Too many assets. They gave up
Hmm.
Mikael Bridges. They gave up so many picks. I
Which I
mean,
think is a really stupid thing. I don't think you ever give up a player like Michael Bridges, but that's a separate.
I know. I think Mikael Bridges has the potential to. Yeah, I mean,
There is one thing that LeBron does not have:
okay.
sixth man of the year award. That will be dope. Okay, to have LeBron coming off the bench in the middle quarters and then going off
Hmm.
for 30 points.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, that's just on a lighter note. But I just think that'll be an insane trip. To just imagine LeBron coming off your bench, bro. Like he's like a perfect second unit guy if you look at it from this perspective. He has 2 quarters in him where he can go all out. So yeah, but I agree with you. They need. I love Chris Middleton's suggestion. I think that's a that
But
that
another problem for the Lakers is a lot of the players are not on contract.
who all are going to leave or whatever, whose contracts are expiring. We have to see
So
that.
Austin
But
Reeves' contract is expiring. Rui Hachimura's contract is expiring. Uh, Vanderbilt's contract is expiring. And these guys are going to get paid, especially because of the playoff performance.
Hmm.
So I think LeBron is like freaking. I'm again gonna if I'm gonna be fielded with a half-ass roster. Why should I even risk? Why, dude? It's difficult to play in the NBA. Like the amount of effort he must be putting is ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah.
I, if I were LeBron, I'll be like, I'll look at what the Lakers do. I'll try to, pitch some free agents, some good free agents. Like there's some interesting upcoming free agents. I'll try to pitch them, and if none of that is happening, I'll be like,
Yeah, but
let's call it
again,
quits.
if I was obviously Rob Pelinka, right, and that's the conversation that perhaps has already happened between LeBron and Rob Pelinka, like bro, like I basically had half a season, okay, with this roster, right? So you give it an entire season now. Let's see how the first half of next season goes. Okay, then you play your All Star break like how Jordan played the All Star game, whatever, and then you do like a proper farewell tour. That's a separate conversation. But I think it's important to see how the first half of next season goes, subject, of course, to the Lakers getting that half court shooting guard scorer kind of guy. So yeah, it comes down to that. That's how I look at it.
So the free agents which are coming up: Russell Westbrook, of course, no. James Harden, Chris Middleton, Kyrie Irving, Kristaps Porzingis, D'Angelo Russell,
I
Kevin
think
Love.
D'Angelo Russell is I think he has to do something about his game. Like he's I think he's too much of a liability, dude.
He's not a winning player. He's a great player. He's not a winning player.
In fact,
He
I would
can.
say he's a losing player.
So when I saw this Laker team, and you know what this Lakers team did do for me is they actually exposed how far away Warriors were this season.
Yeah.
Because there's no way they let a team with D'Angelo Russell beat them because of how big of a liability D'Angelo Russell is. What do you think of that, Gopal?
We spoke about this. No, like I think it's about yeah, exploiting D'Angelo Russell is one thing, but Clay was so
Yeah,
bad,
yeah, it
dude.
was
He
very
was
bad.
just
Yeah,
that's a difference, right? If you look at your perimeter players, if you
true.
have Steph and Clay versus D'Angelo Russell and Michael Dennis Schroeder, and it just sounds crazy to think
Dude,
about.
so my question is this, right? If say for example they lose D'Angelo Russell, they lose uh,
Vanderbilt. I'm saying,
Vanderbilt, they
yeah, they
lose
lose
Rui
these two.
Hachimura.
Hachimura, they should not lose, bro. Like somehow
I know,
they've.
but if they lose, then why the hell should LeBron come back? Is my question to you.
No, but you're talking about people who are losing. They'll also gain someone. Huh? It's not. You can't just spoke. They'll get someone
No,
else.
but
So
who
my point is,
else?
Vanderbilt plus D'Angelo Russell is equal to the perfect player for perfect two-way player, right? So my point is, what can you get for D'Angelo Russell plus Vanderbilt? I think it comes down to that, and I think if you can get a Chris Middleton for that,
I have an interesting theory here. Guess who's available this off
uh,
season?
yeah,
Draymond Green.
no, bro, no, no, no,
Draymond Green's available.
no. Then the only thing you're going to get is technical fouls. It's just too much drama, dude. They need shooting. Okay, they need outside shooting.
One more interesting player which the Lakers can go after is Fred Van Vliet. I think he was
I
a
like.
superb scorer on Toronto Raptors. I think they didn't use him well during that finals run. I think he played Steph as well as anybody, and he provided a lot of offense. I think Fred VanVleet can give them the answer for their starting point guard. Oh damn! I
Yeah,
hope
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
hope Lakers go after Fred VanVleet.
In exchange, like, do you think it can be a like,
They can
dia-
sign him. He's a free agent.
or just sign him as a free agent? You don't even need to trade
But the
away
problem is,
salary
I don't
cap.
know if they can, yeah, match his salary because he'll be asking 25, 30 million around that range.
I'm curious now. What is D'Angelo Russell plus uh, Vanderbilt's combined salary? Is it still going to be less?
So how much do you think Vanderbilt is gonna get? I think he gets about 8 to 10 million.
Is that already what he's getting now? Is you're saying?
Oh, okay. So if I open Vanderbilt NBA salary,
Because I don't see a huge jump for him because his offense was exposed. Okay.
so he's at a $5 million salary.
Okay, so you're right. Maybe it goes up to 8, perhaps.
Yeah, goes up to 8. Yeah,
What is D'Angelo Russell then?
he is earning a lot of money. One sec.
Huh, so these two combined is equal to Fred Van Vliet, lah.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. So
That
they
would
should
be
figure out a sign and trade with Toronto Raptors to offload if Fred VanVleet decides that okay, I want to sign with the Lakers, then Toronto Raptors will be happy to do a sign and trade, I think.
yeah, yeah. So now as you say all these things, no, you realize that LeBron's statement is a bargaining
Chip.
strategy.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah, yeah.
negotiation tactic.
True.
He don't take me for granted.
Hmm.
Okay, because at one point in time he was supposed to get a surgery, right?
Yeah, and
And he
he
got a
pushed
second
it.
opinion and he didn't get. So he's like, dude, I am putting my basically my body on the line for
Right,
what?
right.
Right. So that's what this is. That's what now as I speak to you, it becomes quite clear. He's not retiring, dude. He's not.
Yeah, he's not retiring, guys. I mean, I think Lakers have some. By the way, we are gonna be doing shows throughout the week, speaking about different moves which all the teams which have been knocked off can do to improve their roster. So
Hmm.
stay tuned for that. We'll have all of the data, the salaries, all those things. And Gopal, this particular show, the way we can do it is we can actually. I'll share my screen with NBA 2K running, so we can check
Yeah, yeah.
upcoming free agents. This that it'll be fun.
No, no, that'll be fun. I think this is something that these conversations don't happen in the basketball community, especially in India, right? Where we actually talk trades and stuff. I think this is a very
Right.
important, eye-opening conversation, even for me, right? I think it'll be great to put on the GM hat,
Yeah.
uh, right? And also, I love it, guys. Please scan the QR code to join the WhatsApp community.
Sure.
The advantage that whenever I speak, I know Nikhil doesn't listen. He just keeps putting up all these things on the screen, right? So that's what this is. But please scan the QR code, join the community. Trust me, that's where good stuff happens. That's where real banter happens. Politically incorrect banter. Stuff
And
we
we
can't say here.
so talking about the WhatsApp community, we have few interesting comments I'd like to share about what happened in the WhatsApp community. So the first thing was I think uh, Aditya had, sorry, not Aditya, Radha Krishnan.
Yes.
He had an interesting answer, which was about LeBron playing, at his age, what does he have? So Radhakrishnan says from the WhatsApp Eklavya's WhatsApp community, seri- seriously, what he's doing at the age is really remarkable. He's a great player, no question about it. What gets annoying is his fans trying to overrate him, portraying him something he's not. Just like Mike Malone said, no one talks about the team that just won. Did LeBron have a good game? Sure. Did he have a really great first half? Shortly put, sure, he did have a really great first half. Shortly put, Nuggets were a better squad, and Joker hit some ridiculous shots to beat the Lakers. So he was responding to a question where, like, did LeBron have a great game and all of that? Like, everyone obviously was talking about LeBron. LeBron, is he retiring? All that stuff. But then no one are talking about the Nuggets who actually swept them.
Hmm.
So that's interesting. And the second was JR from the Eclavias basketball community. What he was referring to when he said that they should have used LeBron as a decoy was only in the last play.
Oh, now that makes sense. That
That
makes a
makes
lot more.
sense,
Yeah,
yeah.
that makes sense. That makes sense.
So yeah, so
Yes.
I responded to him, and this was an interesting point. Wherein the last play, was it a right call? Look, there's few
Oh,
perspectives.
decoy, and then it goes to Reeves.
Yeah, and Reeves was
Ooh,
hot.
Reeves was hot. Hmm.
So, I think that's a very good play call. I mean, makes sense. In fact, I was watching another basketball podcast everyone should check out, which I feel not many people know, is Gilbert Arenas.
I love the guy.
Hibachi.
I
What
love
a
the guy.
player. And his podcast is, I feel, one of the best, like very controversial and very good insights. So he was doing a live reaction, Gopal. And
Huh.
when the timeout got called, and when Austin Reeves was inbounding the ball, he was shouting, "Why the hell is Austin Reeves inbounding the ball? Like, he's your best shooter and he's inbounding. Like, there's not going to be any miracle handoff play, guys. That does not happen. He should not be inbounding the ball." And
Especially
then,
when you have 4 seconds left. It's not, he's not getting the ball back. Yeah.
exactly. And like, you could see it on his face. He was so angry. He was so pissed off.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that was very interesting, sort of like an NBA player. Like Gilbert Arenas is a coach for a lot of high school games. So he was very surprised and he was shouting.
Gilbert Arenas is coaching high school games right now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's a coach and he's trying to build up his coaching career. But he also has a
That
podcast.
seems a very risky thing. I don't. Gilbert Arenas as a coach, I'm not doubting his IQ, Okay, but he's a such a moody dude, man. That's
I know. That's quite interesting. So yeah, I mean, Jr. So apologies for that. Like, I assumed you were talking about the whole game, but last play, I think it makes sense what you said, right? Like Lakers should have figured out another option, or maybe get AD to inbound the ball, because that can create something. And the second was, I think my Nirmal was saying that why didn't he go for a jumper instead of a layup? Because once you're going for a layup, you're running into a crowd, and it's always hard to hit.
yeah,
Uh,
but he could have drawn the foul, right? I think that's also something. If you look
no,
about,
dude, I think referees swallow the whistle in that moment. They never. Have you ever seen a foul getting called on a last play, game-winning drive? I have never seen one. Never.
but I'm saying you give yourself that option, right? You either make the shot or you draw the foul, because the defense actually, if you look at it, it was just elite defense what Jamal Murray did, and the help that Aaron Gordon did. But here and there, if he had got hacked, they would have called it. As simple as that,
True, true.
right? So I think that's an important reason why he probably drove the ball. So
So
hmm.
yeah, I mean, guys, that was all for today's show. Celtics extend their series. They survive. Do scan the QR code and join our WhatsApp community. Thank you so much for watching. See you all in our next episode. Bye, guys.
Celtics in seven. Celtics in seven.